Awesome. All right, this is great. 30 minutes I was struggling with my Zoom, my computer, my everything, and I was like, damn. Wonderful. Okay, we'll give a couple of minutes for folks to join in. And Sundeep, yesterday I got a chance to talk to Garima, and we had a wonderful conversation.
Yeah. Finally, it seems it took a while for you guys to get together.
Yes. Very cool.
No, it's good. Did you guys meet or it was online?
We were trying to meet in person, but she was too far away and it was a busy day for me. So we thought we'll just connect with Zoom meeting. And then, yeah, I hope to see her in person soon too sometime. Wonderful. Okay, I think this is weekday and everybody will be short on time. We'll let people trickle in. Let's just start with some introduction. What's your background? How did you got into all this? And what are the cool things that you do before we get into the whole immersion into the Ramayana?
Yeah. So I did put a couple of slides for that also, since you mentioned that's what you wanted me to start with.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe I'll just introduce myself. I am a graduate in computer science from IIT Bombay. So, and then I ended up working at a management consulting firm, McKinsey, for about 6.5 years in India. So from a computer science, then I became a management consultant, and then in 2008 left to start Swasth, Swasth Foundation, which is a not-for-profit based in Mumbai, focusing or with the vision of health and joy for all. So I think during this journey over the last 16 odd years, have ended up doing a few things to build up my skill set further. I ended up doing my MSc in yoga, a coach certification, a somatic experience certification. So sort of practice as a coach now for almost 7 years as one part of the job. The other thing that we do quite a bit is actually which is where the origin of Swasth was, also to serve the low income in Mumbai. And sort of there we are trying to address the problem of impoverishment due to health shocks. So in India, there is no health insurance practically. There is one in name, but practically most of the population is uninsured. And what happens is when an event like a heart attack, stroke, or something happens, and people end up in a private hospital, they pay a lot of money, either take a loan which they can never pay back, they lose an earning member. So that pushes them under poverty. So what we do is we basically, our job is not to fund that, but our job is to prevent those from happening, because all of these are preventable things. And so we basically run a network of primary care clinics, which has doctors, medicine, lab tests, like full service. We start with educating people, making them aware about these health conditions, and then referring them to the clinic with people whoever have higher values, like high blood pressure or high sugar, and then manage their whole care, sort of so that they stay under control. And as you know, this is something which is regular. So people come in every time. We currently serve close to 7,000 people across 14 branches in Mumbai. And the cost, this is all donation based. So because people, there's no fee for this service for patients, because if there is a service, they will drop off very quickly. They don't stay. And we've sort of reduced it to a cost where it's like $25 a month can support 5 families for their entire care, which, as I said, includes the doctor, the medicine, the lab test, the rent, everything. All total cost is just $25 a month for 5 families. So yeah, that's what we do as the other part of the work. And then there is this side of our work, which is with the institute, and where our goal is again health and joy for all. So how do we take this message of mental, social, emotional, spiritual well-being to everybody? And there we thought everyone is poor.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to this, we all are equally poor, and we need to keep keep getting rich. And I have been very lucky. I've been able to get some time, learn, understand some of these things, apply in my life. So I sort of think of sharing it with others.
Yes, I really love what you said. And are you presenting anything? Because we don't have anything up on screen yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, you're
I
not.
thought
Okay,
I'll just.
cool. So I actually learned from Garima yesterday the meaning of Swasth and
Yes.
the vision behind. So there is one is the non-profit arm and one is the inner Swasth. So would you want to talk about that a little bit? The education
Sure.
part that you guys are on.
Yeah. So that's sort of what I represent now, the Swasth Institute. So we have two programs, both are still in the same non-profit. So any income, we do run workshops there. So any income that comes goes to the clinics only, finally. But the essence of the Swasth Institute, so now the word Swasth, we understand at least as health, but in Sanskrit, it comes from two words, Swa and Stha. So Swa means self and Stha means to be sthit in it, like sthan, sthit, stable. Even the English word comes from the same origin. So Swasth literally means to be sthit in yourself, to be stable in yourself, to be me. So the essence of the Swasth Institute is for people to be themselves as much as we can and just be free from all sorts of conditioning, patterns, expectations. That's what really binds us, prevents us from being ourselves fully. So we do a bunch of workshops on different topics. We do one-on-one work in terms of yoga therapy, somatic trauma healing, coaching, different ways to support people, whatever will support anybody on this journey uh, to be swasth, to be stable in oneself.
Very cool. All right. Let's get into the fun part.
Yes.
Into the
Yeah.
sweetness
So this definition, like
of
Rachna is also saying, it's not ours. So I just wanted to also acknowledge this is how the word swasth actually is used in our scriptures, including the very closely in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So people who are familiar with that, that third sutra actually says this, Tada Drushtu Swarupe Avasthanam. So it says Swarupe Avasthanam. So it separates the Swa and Stha in that sense, Swarupa and Avasthanam. But the Sankhya Sutras, which are next to which are like the combined or the joint or the twin sutras of Yoga Sutras, uses the word swasth directly. It says, then you will be swasth. So the state of yoga, all the intention of any yoga activity we do is to be swasth, is to be established in ourselves. That's sort of the essence. Anything in the name of yoga, if we do it, be it an asana, pranayam, meditation, yam, whatever we do, the purpose has to be swasth, to be stable in ourselves, to be established in ourselves, to be our true self.
very cool. And also to give you an insight about our group, we are newbies. So yeah, so I know you're very advanced in Yoga Sutras and all, but we are all here to learn and so really cool to see all that.
So good. No, I'll show link the Hanuman, sorry, the Ramayana with this as well, with Yoga Sutras. There is a link by the end. Hopefully, we can draw some lessons from it as well. Good. Okay. So shall we talk about Ramayana?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the consultant in me doesn't go very easily. It's a big part of my life. So there will be slides. So I'll share slides. I'll be able to see all of you as well at the same time. So please feel free to pause, to ask questions, make it as interactive. That's better. So this is just one perspective, as you will see. Yeah. So let's get started. Okay. So you can see the slides or the cover.
Yes, now it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So Ramayana, the journey of Ram, and we typically start our sessions with a short prayer. So we'll start this one also with it. This is the Sahana Vavatu prayer. I don't know if people know this in the group or no. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. You can repeat after me. I'll say it line by line. But before we say it, I just say as we don't sign a blank piece of paper, we shouldn't say anything without knowing the meaning. So as we start the session, this is the meaning. This is how sessions are typically started in the Vedic yogic tradition. So this is what it means. As a group of people sit together to learn, we say we wish, may we all be protected, may we all be nourished, may we work together with energy and vigor, may our study, learning be enlightening, and may there be no hostility. There will be discussion, there might be disagreement, but there may be no hostility. And we end with the three Shantis. Oh, peace, peace, peace. And the three Shantis also, as we say, it means Shanti within me. Now, Shanti within me is sustainable when there is Shanti immediately around me. And then to make that Shanti sustainable, we want Shanti everywhere in the world. So the three Shantis are Shanti within me, Shanti around me, and Shanti everywhere. Yeah. So we'll say that we'll do it in what we call as lead and follow. So I'll say one line, then you can repeat. So sit comfortably. Let your back be supported. If you're on a ground, let your feet be flat. If you're on a chair, let your feet be comfortably flat. If not, try and keep something. Your back be supported, shoulders relaxed. Then gently close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. You can repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sah Viryam Karvavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Whenever you feel complete, you can gently open your eyes, join the room. So, as we start talking about the Ramayana, there is a tradition again to invite Hanumanji. We say whenever there is Ram Katha, Hanumanji be present. So, I would like to invite him, and we'll invite him with the first verse of the Hanuman Chalisa. Jai Hanuman, Gyan Gun Sagar, Jai Kapish Tihu Lok Ujagar, Ramadut Atulit Baldhama, Anjani Putra, Pavan Sutanam. And to me, the reason also this, and we're talking of yoga also, so he is the complete yogi. Even this just introduction, the first verse, this is what is said. He is the Gyan Gun Sagar, so he is a Gyan yogi. He is Kapish, Jai Kapish. Kapish means Lord of the Monkey Mind. So he's a Raj Yogi. He is Ramdut. So he's the Param Bhakt or Bhakti Yogi. And he has unmatched strength to do the work of Sri Ramchandra. So he's a Karam Yogi. So all the four dimensions of yoga, four paths of yoga are sort of he's living it. He's the role model for it. And anything we want to understand about yoga, I think stories, his life, all the stories we have about him can teach us that in one of the most simplest ways. So that's why just welcoming him. So one of the questions often asked, and we'll start with that, is why Ramayana, right? What's the relevance of Ramayana today? There are different estimates of how old the Ramayana is, from 3,000, 5,000, some now going up to 14,000 years old. Different people have timed it at different uh, times on when it happened. Why is it relevant today, right? Even why particularly the Valmiki Ramayana, why is it relevant today? And to me, basically, the essence comes from when we start understanding the meaning of the word Ramayana. So Ramayana comes from, again, two words, Ram plus Ayan. So Ram is Ram, let's say. to start with. And Ayan means the journey, the travel. So Ramayana is like the journey of Ram, the travels of Ram. So this is really captures that. And if you get into the Valmiki Ramayana, which is 20,000 verses, it's actually quite in detail in terms of what all is there. It's a very descriptive, very wonderful text in itself. So it describes that journey in quite a bit of good detail, the flora, fauna, the geography at that time, the situation at that time. So it's quite fascinating. It's the journey of an individual. And it's so whose journey is it? And that's why it makes it's like a biography, right? So it's the journey of a Maryada Purushottam, an ideal individual who follows Dharma. So even like how the Valmiki Ramayana starts is it actually starts with Valmiki ji asking Narad Muni, saying, oh, tell me about somebody who lives with Dharma, who has these qualities, who acts in truth, who is established. So he describes these wonderful qualities of an ideal person who lives in Dharma. And then he says, tell me, is there somebody like that? I want to write about him. And that's when Narad Muni tells him about Lord Rama and says, this is a person. So it's a person, it's a Purushottam, it's a human being, it's an individual. And so you can write about him and he describes his lovely qualities there. And that's the first chapter of Valmiki Ramayana or first Sarga, which is like the executive summary of the whole Ramayana. Right? It's wonderful in itself. And so basically that's the purpose. That's why Valmiki ji wrote this. So what we can take away is that there are lots of lessons to draw hence from it, right? In how to live, how to respond in different situations, how to decide, how to make choices, what to do. So each aspect with that story, as we keep getting and keep unfolding it, there are just so many layers and so many things to learn in just how to lead a life. And what has happened over time. So Valmiki Ramayana is the first original text. And over time, different scholars, different individuals, different languages, different countries, different regions have actually summarized this in their own way, right? And that's why we have so many versions of the Ramayana now, right? So of course, the one some may have heard of is like the Ramcharitmanas. That's by Goswami Tulsidas. It's written in Awadhi for people of Awadh. Then similarly, in every Indian language, Bengali, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, there is a version of Ramayana. And not just in India, it's actually there in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka. So all over this region. So somehow this story or this individual and whatever he was able to do, or it inspired so many people that it has not only just survived, but it has actually been read, restated for the local context, for different times, for example, also, right? In what is relevant in that time, what is relevant to that people. So we have different people who have written it. They have drawn their own insights and shared with us in different retellings, right? So it's, and just again, things like the Valmiki Ramayana is 20,000 verses, right? It's a big text. Tulsidas Ramayana is 3,000 or 4,000 verses. Adhyatma Ramayana similarly 3,000, 4,000 verses. So these are summaries of it. So the real full text, the full detail is in the Valmiki Ramayana, and it's very, very detailed in its beings. As I said, there are so one of the more recent, for example, somebody did that, and I usually share that image, but basically it gives the whole atlas of the world. So there is a passage where Sugriv is, for example, sending people, all the Vanars to search for Sita, right, in all the four directions. So when he's sending the Vanars, he gives them detailed descriptions of what will you see. When you go east, you will see this, then this, then this, then this. When you go north, you will go this. And from that, one can construct like what's the atlas of the world at that point. And very surprisingly, there are actually descriptions of places, of very clear places in different parts of the world, which are still there. And one can track them today as well. But that's a completely different discussion. But that's the level of detail or depth that's there in the Valmiki Ramayana, for example. And then people have drawn lessons, and that's what we'll try and do, or that's been sort of my attempt at also to see another way of seeing this Ramayana, and that's what I'll try and share today. So it's just one version of how we can see Ramayana in today's context, maybe, and maybe make it more useful for our own lives. It's been very helpful for me. So I thought we can use it for our own lives. Okay. So that's the context. Let's quickly recap the journey of Ram, right? The Ramayana as we know. And my job, again, as a consultant, is to put it on one slide. I did not want the whole story because it's, as I said, very, very long. It's a detailed story, but let's get the essence of it in this one slide. So this is how it goes, at least I have put it, driven by parental desire, right? So it was a desire of Keikei to have her son as the king. Ram is sent to the forest, right? Sita and Lakshman join Ram. So Sita and Lakshman were not sent, but they joined. They in fact insisted that we want to go. Ram said, you don't have to, but they said, no, no, we will go. We will definitely go. So he said, okay, come along. First 13 years, 12 and a half, 13 years, they are together and go well. So there's a lot happening. They are traveling. There's a lot of detail there. But till the time they reach this Panchvati, which is near modern day Nasik in Maharashtra, it's largely okay, going well. They meet different people. Everyone they meet, there is some good stuff that they end up getting, either a boon or something like that. They also meet demons on the way and they manage them. So then what happens? Ravan. So Ravan, one also known as Dashanand, right? One with 10 heads and a loud roar. So the word Ravan literally means a loud roar, somebody who roars very loudly. That's how he got the name Ravan. One with 10 heads and a loud roar abducts Sita by an illusion and holds Sita hostage. Right? So he had to do an illusion to abduct Sita. He couldn't just go and abduct. He had to create that illusion of a deer, right? Golden deer, distract Ram and Sita, Ram and Lakshman, sorry, and then is able to take Sita, abduct her and hold Sita hostage. Then Ram and Sita both suffer the separation. In fact, Ram laments. There's a quite a big detailed episode in how Ram is sad. He laments the loss. In fact, first doesn't even believe. Sita longs for Ram, and Ram longs for Sita as well. Right? So the longing is mutual. Both are longing for each other. That longing actually it happens, and it's quite described in the text as well. It's an important part, I think. Then Ram chooses to search for Sita. There is a choice he makes to search for Sita. Because he had the option, it's 1 year left, I can go back to Ayodhya. But he says, no, he makes the choice to search for Sita. He creates an alliance with Sugriv through Hanuman. So why I say through Hanuman? Because he actually first meets Hanuman. Right? If you remember the story, he first meets Hanuman. Sugriv, in fact, sends Hanuman to check who are these two people who are coming. There is a doubt there. So he then meets Hanuman. Then Hanuman takes Ram and Lakshman to Sugriv. Then a lot happens, but finally Hanuman finds Sita captive in Lanka. Right? They didn't even know where Sita was. Hanuman finds Sita captive in Lanka, the island of gold. So Lanka literally means the island of gold, essentially. Then Hanuman returns with a proof of life of Sita to inform Ram. Right? So when he meets, he gives the ring and she gives a proof of life that I am alive. So Hanuman doesn't bring Sita back. Hanuman only brings proof of life of Sita to inform Ram. Right? Hanuman could have carried Sita, but doesn't happen that way. He actually returns with just a proof of life. And then, of course, Sugriv, Hanuman, and Vibhishan. So Vibhishan also joins now at this stage. They jointly support Ram. So without their support, Ram doesn't go. He is not, if he was, like his Vishnu and all, he could have gone alone, killed everybody, right? But no, Sugriv, Hanuman, and Vibhishan, their support is needed. Ram wins over Kumbhakaran. Lakshman wins over Indrajit. And Ram then wins over Ravan. So that's the order, right? Ram wins over Kumbhakaran, Lakshman wins over Indrajit, Ram wins over Ravan. Then Ram frees and unites with Sita in Ayodhya. Yeah. Fair summary. There is obviously some part which is before this, some maybe after this, some might say, but broadly in one page with that attempt. Yeah. Good. Yes, I can see people thumbs up. You can give me, I can see
Yeah,
you
very,
have.
very nicely summarized.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Good. Okay. So we will take this as a template and you will see the process. So now, of course, here you are seeing the characters are in a different color, right? All the key characters, Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Hanuman. And you see the locations, Forest, Lanka, Ayodhya in green, right? Right. So the reason, sorry, Sarika, you want to say something or?
No, 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 all good.
Okay. So basically the way, at least I have found it useful to see this, right? This journey of Ram as a journey of an individual, of my own journey, for example. To me, this Ramayana is happening inside us, in each one of us. There is a version of Ramayana that's going on. So each of these characters, that's the reason I've highlighted, is a part of us, is a psychological or some aspect of our own self. So there is a Ram in us, there is a Sita in us, and there is a Ravan in us as well. So these are all characters within us. And this is like a template of our life. Right? So, and when we see it that way, it starts becoming, at least to me, I found it very useful to start seeing my life in this way and in how it's evolving, of how life goes. And I think that's the basic premise with which sort of why this is there, and to sort of say that, let's see, right, different parts. So this journey of Ram becomes a journey of a soul. So why? So Ram is essentially the soul, the Atma. So I'll just see what I have seen as these different characters and we'll discuss that. But to me, Ram is the soul, the Atma. That's the essence. This is the journey of the Atma, not of this body, not of this entity, but really the Atma, the soul. Some might call it consciousness, spirit, Ruh. Every, again, religion, spiritual discipline has something to say or something like this, right? So, and to remember that this Ram, this soul, is genderless. So I think the biggest disservice that people have done with Ramayana is when they say, oh, the ideal man is Ram and the ideal woman is Sita. So to me, that's not the way. I see that Ram is a role model for everyone, independent of gender, because the soul is genderless. In our, even the word Purush actually is genderless. Purush stands for soul in the Sankhya Sutras, and it is genderless. So he's Purushottam. Again, that itself, at least to me, indicates that, right? That this is about the soul. So it is for everyone. So Ram is the role model with whatever gender you are born in or you are living with right now. So that's Ram. Then if that's Ram, who is Sita? So now we look at the word Sita also, right? So we'll look at the characters' names. So Sita, we know the story, is born in the plow. She wasn't born like that. So it said that Raja Janak got her from the field. And literally the word Sita in Sanskrit means like that furrow. So when job सींचते हैं ना, we use the word सींचना in Hindi, right? When we सींचते हैं, like we irrigate a field, then we create those gaps where actually seeds are sown, right? So anything can grow in it. It's that fertile soil which is ready to grow anything. Whatever you will actually sow in it, it will grow that. It's that fertile soil. So to me, Sita is actually like the purpose, the swadharma, the sole purpose, the reason each one of us is here. So Ram and Sita are together. If there is a soul, there is a soul purpose. So we come with a purpose, something to do here in this larger system, ecosystem. We have to do something, and every living entity has a purpose, from the smallest of the smallest to the largest of the largest, right? And they have a purpose. We live our purpose. So this is what Sita signifies, the sole purpose, or in the sort of Vedic definition known as Swadharma. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is about Swadharma, by the way. The whole Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Swadharma. Lakshman, so Lakshman is awareness, and the reason is like it is said in many stories that he didn't sleep a wink in those all the time he was there, right? So awareness, constantly aware, Chetana, right? Again, Ram and Lakshman are inseparable. You will right from their childhood, they are inseparable. So even when Vishwamitra comes before all this Vanvas and all, he asks for Ram, but Lakshman goes. So when Ram was sent to Vanvas, Lakshman had to go. It wasn't Bharat and Shatrughan. It was Lakshman who had to. So again, if there is a soul, there is Chetana, there is awareness. That's something we are born with. That's part of us. That's what makes us living in some might say, making us human, awareness, Chetana. So to me, that's what, or who Lakshman signifies. Again, that word Lakshman means something like that, that awareness of the goal in some ways. Lakshya also comes from that. Then who else is there? Hanumanji, right? So Hanumanji, of course, is Prana. He is the life force. He is Vayuputra. He is the essence of all the Vayus, the Pancha Vayus in us. So he is the Prana, the life force within us. Right? And then Sugriv, again the word Sugriv, right? Sugriv. So Grieve means neck. And Sugriv means a good neck. That signifies like a healthy body. Sugriv means a healthy body. And his entire army is all the cells of the body. So we can't fight this battle. We can't live this life without the body, right? That's why Ram needed Sugriv and Hanuman to be there. The whole Vanar Sena had to come to fight that battle with the demons also. Otherwise, they couldn't defeat Ravan just on their own, right? So that's Sugriv, and his army is body, the Panchabhut. So I don't know again how familiar you are with this yogic terminology and other, but these are the Pancha Koshas also essentially. The Annamay, the Pranamay, and we'll see the Manomay Koshas and the Vijnanamay Kosha. So these are the Koshas or the body, the Pran that is essentially there. Who else is there on this side?
The
Is
Ravan.
Vibhishan. Ravan is on this side, on the other side will come. But Vibhishan, right? Another character on this side that we need is Vibhishan. So Vibhishan, even again, same way you see the word, right? It's Vibhishan. So Bhishan means big, large, like a Rakshas. So it's a analogy or synonymous word for Rakshas. And when we add, it means special. It also means opposite, like Vipreet. But we also say Vigyan, Vikarm. So V also makes it special. So Vibhishan is like a special kind of Rakshas. So demon is like part of our mind as psychology, but a special kind of part, and that is the buddhi, the intellect, the power to discriminate between what is dharma and what is adharma. And that is what Vibhishan was. He was the inner voice, you can say. That inner voice, the conscience, that subtle voice that comes, what is right, what is wrong. That will tell you in that moment. We have to listen to it. So if you see even in Ramayana, Vibhishan is constantly telling Ravan, give back Sita, forget this war, don't fight this war. That voice will keep coming. But eventually he is thrown out and then Vibhishan is needed. Ram needs Vibhishan to actually win this war, to actually finally win over Ravan also, right? He needs that intellect. He needs where to attack very specifically, right? Otherwise, we know Ravan wasn't dying. And then, of course, there is Ravan. So Ravan, Dashanan, 10 heads, right? That's what typically we know he symbolizes ahamkar. He symbolizes ego. So this is identities that we have. So the word even ahamkar, right, means ahamkar. Aham means me. Kar means I am the doer. So it's that sense of doership, that I am the doer. And who is the doer? The different roles we play. I am the mother, I am the father, I am the daughter, I am the son, I am the brother, sister, employee, I am the manager, I am the entrepreneur, I am this, I am that. These are all the roles, the multiple roles. That's why this Dashanan. It's not physically 10 heads. I think it means the different roles. 10 is just a figurative. Some might be playing 20 roles or 100 roles, right? It's just figurative. And you see in Mahabharata, then we have 100 Kauravas. So this number also blows up with time. But identities, right? These are the different identities we play. Identities are roles. This is what we identify ourselves with in whatever name we give, right? That's what this is. And in yogic text, this is the primary avidya. So to me, they are similar, ahankar and avidya. The primary avidya is what? That I am this body, or I am this mind, or I am this father, I am this mother, I am this son. That sense of identity. Vidya is what? The identity that I am the soul. I am Ram. That is the identity. That's the truth. That this is not, I don't have a soul. It's not my soul. The soul has a body. I am the soul. Sometimes we use this phrase, na, my soul. There is no my soul. As soon as we have that my soul, that structure itself indicates it is off. In language, if you start reframing it to say, I am the soul, then you have won over Dashanand already. That is the Rambhan, you can say. I am the soul. And the rest is all what I have or parts of me, components of me. But this is the journey of the soul. Right? So then who else is there with Ram? Ravan, the key guys?
Kumbhakaran.
Kumbhakaran, yes. And before one more, Kumbhakaran will come.
Meghnath.
His son, right? Indrajit. Yeah. So Indrajit. So Indrajit, again, see in the word, this is the guy who won over even Indra, the victory. So this is our desire for success. This is that desire to succeed, to win, right? And this is known as Rag or Moh. And in this Tamas, Rajas, Sattva, this is Rajas. This is the energy of Rajas. Again, I don't know how familiar you are with these terms, but I'm just giving so you can correlate. But this is how it's like. Tamas, Rajas, Sattva are the three gunas. So this symbolizes Rajas or the desire for success, the Moh, the Rag, the attachment to things. That's Indrajit. His other name was also Meghnad. He had two names, Indrajit and Meghnad. Megh is cloud. So Meghnad, he is like obscuring everything. Like a cloud, he will just cover everything. That's the property. That's when we are not feeling clear, Indrajit is dominating. And of course, there is Kumbhakaran. So Kumbhakaran ka property is what? He sleeps and sleeps, very hard to wake, right? So that's sloth, laziness. One of the big quote unquote enemies to be won over. Even in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, it's very clearly mentioned. Pramad, Alasya. And this symbolizes tamas again. So tamas, rajas, these are the key gunas in the yogic system. But very simply, again, look at Kumbhakaran, the character, right? So the character is who's sleeping, 6 months sleeping, 6 months awake, eats a lot, very large, right? So this is our laziness, our gluttony, you can say all those are the aspects that Kumbhakaran symbolizes. I'll take a pause here before we get to the locations. But does it making sense? How is it fitting? बैठ रहा है, नहीं बैठ रहा है?
It's so nice. It's so
Very
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
First time I really liked Ramayana. I feel like it's everything is so related now. I feel the meaning of each character is related to us. That's very powerful. Thanks. We have a question, Sundeep here.
Yes.
Question is from Rachna. Rachna,
Yeah.
would you like to ask?
Yeah, so in like
That's nice.
different versions of Ramayana, each character symbolizes some version of our space. Like Hanuman is son of God, Lakshman is Sheshnag, and so on.
Right.
And even Ravan is said to be intellectually very strong. So I'm
Yes.
trying
Yes.
to correlate this with what we have all grown up hearing about each of these characters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
how do the two connect?
Right. So, for example, Hanuman is known as the son of wind god,
Yeah.
Vayu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Vayu is prana. Vayu is sort of the sense of prana, the 5 pranas or 5 Vayus. So, that's what this fits in. Lakshman, yes, is Sheshnag. So, Sheshnag is the bed. It's like obviously with 1,000 or 100 heads, right? It's a snake with 100 heads. So, it's very alert. Can imagine how alert a snake is. Right? It's so quick to respond. So that's awareness person. And this is with 100 or 1,000 heads. And it's always again with Vishnu. So Vishnu is lying on Sheshna. So it's like the base. So again, Ram and Lakshmana are together. They are inseparable when they are there. And that's awareness. So it's like, so Vishnu can sleep. They show Vishnu typically sleeping on Sheshna. That's the picture that typically comes. Right? So he can sleep because Sheshnag is there, awake. He can be really free.
That means
And
sleeping
yes,
on
sorry?
Lakshman's. Lakshman is Sheshnag, right? So
Yes,
when
Lakshman
you're
is known as,
sleeping on Sheshnag means kind of it's we are imagining Lakshman to be there, like Vishnu
no,
on.
Vishnu is Ram, right? So Ram is resting on Sheshnag, on Lakshman. So it depends on.
Okay.
So Vishnu is Ram and Lakshman is Sheshnag in the other version, right? So again, the Vishnu is lying on Sheshnag and he's sleeping, relaxed, peace. That's like the soul is relaxed. If your awareness is high, you can relax.
I didn't
If
relate
you're-
Vishnu and Ram. Yeah, same. Okay. Okay.
sorry, I thought, yeah, Vishnu is Ram in that.
Yes. Yes. Got
And yeah, Sita is Lakshmi in that version. So Lakshmi is that goddess of wealth, in
it.
fact, right? So some might say that's the purpose to create, generate wealth. Maybe in that context it fits in, but to me it's slightly more than that. There is also in Lakshmi itself, there is a notion of Ashtalakshmi, that there are 8 kinds of wealth, actually. So wealth is also of very different kinds, not just pure monetary wealth also.
But then like when the idols are different, right? The Sita, Lakshmi ji or Ram, Vishnu, the idols are not same. Like
Yes.
we are not saying they are same person. Like Vishnu and Ram, they are different idols.
So they are known as the avatar. So Ram is known as the avatar or incarnation of Vishnu. So
Okay.
that's why Vishnu in its original form is different. But when he takes the incarnation or avatar of Ram, it's different.
Okay. 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 Got
And
it.
same way, Vishnu also takes the avatar of Krishna, for example, in the Mahabharata. So Vishnu is the central entity, and then these are the incarnations.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I have all the like here I have all the gods over here. Now I really know the exact who is that. And that's so nice too. No, thank you.
Oh, welcome. And I think Ravan also you asked about, right? Sorry, Rachna, that he's known as, yeah, he is very intelligent. There is no doubt about it. So our ego or our identities are very intelligent, right? We have a lot of knowledge, information, how to be in this world, to be all information and intelligence around that is quite premise. In fact, that is sometimes also which makes us believe that we are the doer, that we are the cause of a lot of actions. I did this. I made this happen, right? Because we thought of do some cause and effect and we say, okay, this is happening because of that, right? So that intelligence is actually can result in this attachment to the identity a lot more. This ego or ahamkar or doingness, my doingness, that can actually become bigger. And that's what happens with Ravan also. He is not just, by the way, described as very intelligent and well-read, intellectually very high, but he is also a Param Bhakt of Lord Shiva. He is known as a great Bhakt of Shiva also. So in Bhakti also he is very good. But again in Bhakti, he goes to that. That's why his stories are that they show in Bhakti also he becomes Ahankari. He says, I am the biggest Bhakt. I am the best Bhakt.
Now I see the distinction why you put everything like on one side and the other side, where it's like ego and success and wealth all in on one side. So yeah.
That's laziness, I know. That's another procrastination.
Yes. Kumbhakaran is procrastination also. Yes. Yes. Others, any other questions, comments on this? Is it sitting well? Yes. No. And as you can already see, once we start understanding these characters, now if you read the Ramayana with this lens, you will start seeing the journey that's going on for oneself as well, and how it plays on almost every day. So many things keep happening. This battle is really happening here.
And the
Yes,
way
please.
I'm seeing it, I think trying to relate with your prior slide, it's not journey of one lifetime. It's like journey of the soul throughout various lifetimes until it meets the purpose. Yeah.
Yes, can be. Yes.
And when we read, like as you said, it's a journey of Ramayana. First of all, the meaning also I didn't know. Ramayana, journey of Ram and journey of soul. And it's everyone's journey, right? So when we read it through those lenses, it's kind of somewhere our journey. And if we fit ourselves in those characters, then we exactly can see where you are going wrong and what needs to be
Yes.
improved. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much depth in to just keep unpeeling.
Yeah. Sandeep, will we go into seeing that whole journey of Ram through the journey of soul now?
Yeah. We'll see
Oh,
that. Definitely. Okay. So these were the characters, the key characters. Now let's see the location. So Lanka, the island of gold, is materialism to me, right? That it just signifies materialism or earth. So we have four artha, kama, moksha, as the dharma, artha, kama, moksha are the four goals. So Lanka is one, materialism. Ayodhya, again, literally the word Ayodhya means yudh. That means there is no war there. That means there is peace. So Ayodhya means peace. There is Shanti. So the word Ayodhya itself means peace, Shanti. And of course, there is the forest where he sent. And to me, forest signifies the world, our day-to-day life, the Jagat that we live in, the world that we live in. Yeah. So what I'll do now, whatever we saw in the previous slide, the journey of Ram, the Ramayana, I'll just do a control H, replace Ram with soul, Sita with soul purpose, and read that same story. Yeah, and see it as the story of a soul, the journey of a soul. Right? So driven by parental desire, a soul is sent to the world. So only when our parents had a desire were we born. Otherwise, we would not be born. Right? We are sent to this world. Soul, purpose, and awareness join the soul. So they come, and this is a package deal. They come together. The first 13 years, they are together and go well. So that's when teenage starts. I think this has a significance. This 13 may have become little lesser now. Maybe it's happening earlier for people. But this is when things start changing. Actually, the chemistry starts changing in our body. The nervous system is evolving, right? Our whole frontal cortex is beginning to evolve. We are beginning to make meaning of the world. And if you see now what neuroscience tells us also is this, that the struggles of a teenagers are around identity. They are trying to figure out who they are in this world. That's what they are trying to make meaning of. That's the more biggest crisis of the teenage years. And that's what happens. And they are loud, right? Teenagers can be loud. So identity, one with 10 heads and a loud roar, right? So this identity will show up in different ways. And a loud roar abducts soul purpose by an illusion and holds soul purpose hostage, right? So this soul purpose, the purpose goes for a toss and we get some illusion. So the illusion I got was IIT kar lo, life set ho jayegi. Like you do your IIT once, get this entrance done, you're set. And then in IIT, that illusion changed to get a job, then it is set. Then you get an illusion, marry, then it is set. So something like that. Those illusions will keep coming and we keep getting caught and we keep going away and away from our purpose, right? That's what at least happened with me. And this is what, those are the illusions we keep seeing that keeps happening, and identity keeps changing, including in my case, first a student, then I became a management consultant, then I started Swasth. So it didn't leave me then. When I started, I became a social entrepreneur. Then I became a public health person. Then I became something, right? People keep giving you labels. So labels are plenty. You will keep getting identities if we are not aware. And I did get, so for a long time, this was lost. And there is this point, right? When this happens, when you start suffering this separation, the soul and the soul purpose both suffer the separation. The soul laments. So there is suffering, there is pain of some kind. The soul purpose longs for the soul, and the soul longs for the soul purpose. While this desire or this lamenting, this suffering has to come in some form. For me, this came in the form of GERD, hyperacidity. So very early on, being a management consultant, the stressful lifestyle, quote unquote, some form of stress, it showed up in my body as hyperacidity and made me take a break, go to a yoga ashram, start my journey there, start the search there. In some form, it was for me physical ailment. Garima, I know it was a backache as well. For somebody else, it might be show up in some relationship challenges. For some, it will show up in wealth challenges. It will show up in some form, right? This world, we are here to learn. We are here to live this, right? It will show up in some form. The entire journey of Ram in Ramayana is filled. They will start the search, they will find a demon. So if the choice they have, again, they have to make a choice that should I fight this demon or should I let it go or just go back, run away? And if they fight, they win over the demon gives a gift. The entire story is like that. You win, then you get a gift. Starting from before, he kills Trataka, Vishwamitra gives him all the weapons he needs to fight the war. Then when they start their search, first time, they have no clue where Sita is, right? That's the search now that will start. How does the search start? They go around and find Jatayu. Jatayu is dying. What is Jatayu? Jatayu is soaring in the sky, right? We are flying high. That has been killed. So there is some event in life which will bring you down. But that will tell you, just look, keep looking, go there. You will find something. So first thing they find actually is a demon called Kaband. And then big demon, they kill Ram and Lakshman. And then Kaband tells, go to this place and you will find Sabri. So one thing leads to the other. You don't know the path, but you face one. They go to Shabri, meet Shabri. And then Shabri says, go to this place, you will find Sugri. And then it becomes a little bit more concrete. Till then, it's in the dark. They are shooting in the dark. They have no clue which direction to go to also. Right? But what do they do after this separation, this suffering? They choose, they make a choice. So the soul chooses to search for the soul purpose. And then through that search, it creates an alliance with the body through the life force, through the prana. So the body is needed. You have to make the alliance with your body. You have to make the alliance with prana. You have to get them together. That's why all these asana, pranayama are so important. These practices that have been built. Life force finds soul purpose, captive in materialism. So soul purpose is where in Lanka? It's caught, it's stuck. And life force, but once it will find, you will start getting some hints that this is your soul purpose. It won't be clear. There is just proof of life. So life force will return with a proof of life of soul purpose to inform the soul. You'll get to know. So I got to know, there is something I'm here to do. Some idea along this yoga, something I have to start sharing. I still can't say I have found it fully. I'm still in this last battle. So I don't know how this will all end for me, whether in this or next lifetime. But I now have a sense there is some purpose. So, and that's why I start sharing it. So at least I think people will start thinking about it. Maybe that's my purpose, but we'll see. It will evolve. I know there is something now. I have proof of life that there is a soul purpose to inform the soul. And this happens through a lot of work with the body, with meditation, with prana, all these techniques that are there. But you have to engage the body. You have to engage the prana. You have to engage your mind. And then this starts with the mind, right? Because Vibhishan has to join. Vibhishan has to join this battle. So body, life force, and intellect, they jointly support the soul. All three have to come together. The soul wins over sloth, procrastination, laziness, all that is Kumbhakaran. Awareness wins over the desire for success. In fact, one of the Ramayans, they give a reason why Lakshman can only kill Indrajit. Ram could not kill Indrajit. They said somebody who has been awake for 12 years continuous. That is the boon Indrajit had. Only that person can kill. Who hadn't seen a face of a woman for 12 years can kill. So that's the kind of awareness that is needed. So awareness wins over desire for success. The soul wins over identity. And what does this mean? The soul wins over identity. It means we reframe our identity. Like I was saying, Our identity is not that I am a son, I am a husband, I am a father, I am an employee, I am a boss, I am a social entrepreneur, I am this, that. No, I am the soul. That becomes the identity. That is the true victory over Ravan, that I am the soul. So the identity is reframed to saying, I am not this, I am not the doer. I am a medium, I am an instrument for stuff to happen. And I give an example of, like, I think of it this way from nature. Like there is an apple tree. Apple tree is not even thinking it has a purpose, but it has a purpose. Just by being there as an apple tree, it is serving its purpose. It's giving oxygen. It's giving place to nest for some. It's giving shade to some. It's throwing its leaves down for nutrition. And it's also giving apple for some. Even if the apple nobody eats, the apple goes, decays to the soil, then soil gets rich. It's living its purpose in this ecosystem. Just by being, by recognizing I am an instrument. I am here. My purpose is to be. I am the soul. I am here. Then the purpose will get served. There will be situations in my life where I'll have a role to play. And that is the soul winning over identity. The identity is, I am the soul. I don't know if people have seen Matrix 3. How many have seen? No. Yes. You remember the last scene, right? Where the Neo just allows to be overwritten by them. I am the soul. The soul wins over identity. And once that happens, the soul frees and unites with soul purpose in peace. In Ayodhya. Ayodhya is peace.
So beautifully said. I also feel like it's like a video game where we are, getting over the demons, and the gifts are given like in Mario game. Can you go to the next level now? You go to this now, next level.
Yes. Yeah, it does happen. Levels keep going up. I'm keeping the slide up. I can still see you, and I'll pause it, but just giving time for people to read and see.
Whatever you said was so, so powerful. And one thing leads to other, and it's just happening, I think, right with me. I will never be attending this session with Raman, but I think my journey of that one has started. As you said, the suffering comes in some form. You shared about others. Yours was acidity. I had severe body pains for 3 years. And
Yes.
that's where my things slowed down, and I started going in pranayam meditation, which was, I was never into it. And yeah, so I can see totally when you were talking about it, which stage I am in. So my God, what a
Yeah.
awakening session is this for me. I just love it.
Yeah. Good. I think that's the important thing, to just see where we are on this journey. Each one of us at different points. And there is just so much richness. I'm just putting it on one page, but every detail also in that has richness in it. So much detail. And yeah, I'll share about, we do workshops on that, going into detail, saying, can we now take out, learn from it on how this search progresses for somebody? How is this search like? Or what does it mean to live a life of dharma? What are the qualities we want to cultivate? We want to prepare ourselves with what we need. And those lessons are there in the Ramayana. But it is for us. It is for every individual. And
Will you be sharing those workshop details, Sundeep? Or
yes, I'll share one.
that'd be great. Yeah, I think this resonates with so many of us. In fact, I started thinking about what's the purpose and all, and then I started seeing some messages on the social media. Stop thinking about purpose. What you're doing right now is the purpose. So like, no, there is something that needs to happen. I think this is great. Love it.
Such a powerful line. The soul and soul purpose both suffer the separation. And that's
Yeah.
where I think it comes in different form. Maybe some pains or something we are going hard, right? Because you are not, you are soul, but your purpose is not yet defined by you, or it's not in harmony with each other. And last week only we went on a retreat, and me and Sarika was talking. Definitely there is a purpose of me, and like everything that you are saying is so related. Amazing. I'm so glad I attended this. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, Prem.
yeah, it gives a very, very different perspective about Ramayana. I never had this kind of Ramayana can have this much of, information on it. I'm very glad that in this. Thank you so much, Sundeep. It's just very eye-opening and deep thought process. It's going to initiate.
That's a hidden message of Ramayana.
Yeah.
Also, I also feel what Sandeep said, the first 13 years they are together. As children, we are always doing what we love and we don't care about what people think. And, we're just free in that sense of with our just celebrating who we are, right? As a being, we are just so sthit inside. But after 13, that the soul gets lost into like seeing the world around us, and I want to be someone. Who am I? Everybody is this, and this is what is valued in the world. So getting lost there.
Yeah. And that's how our biology is actually. That's what more and more neuroscience is discovering. That's what happens with all the hormones kicking in. And that's it. It is a very different time.
Yeah.
So is it right, like we say, so this is natural, right? Biologically also, like teenagers will act in certain way. After 13, it's expected. We cannot expect them to be at the level of what we are talking. They have to go through the journey in order to
Yes.
reach there. So we cannot teach a teenager, I think, all these things at this moment. For them, it's like a fight. What are you talking about? So they have to, I think everyone has to go through the journey, and the right time will
Yes.
come when you get into this. I was enforcing my kid, okay, learn, but it's not the right time. I guess it's they have to go through the whole journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the right time, but what I also have come to appreciate is how sometimes for me, for example, this as a story came in very early in life. And that story has stayed, right? The meaning I'm making now is very different, but the story stayed. So that's what I think a lot of our literature has done that beautifully in making these very complex things available to us in a way that we retain it, we get attracted to it, and it stays with us. And when time comes, it will connect.
Yeah.
So for children, teenagers, I think more they are familiar with this, that there is stuff like this, and that's why we have different forms. Jataka tales are there, which are with animals, then the Puranas are there. They are all explaining these very deep, intricate, I think, concepts in a very different way for us to be able to relate to them.
So yeah, like I just say, I know it's only 2% they are picking, but at least 2% will help them
Yes.
like
Yes.
have a seed. Yeah. So
It's like planting the seeds. We, as parents, our job is to plant the seed, and they will go on their own hero's journey. And the hero has to go through the dungeon to fight the demons and then rise up to become the hero and find the purpose. So I think, but that seed will germinate on its own in the perfect timing when everything is aligned for them. But as parents, we need to introduce concepts to them. Yeah.
And as always, Sarika, seems like you can read my mind. I just mentioned that in the chat, sitting here about the kids and focusing on the kids, and you just said that.
Wonderful. Awesome. I would love, Sandeep, if we could do a little Ram meditation.
Yes, so that's how I think the next question was this only would be this, I presume, is how to start this journey, right? So wherever we are, I think what supported me, and that's this, right? The answer is in the name. We have discussed all the names, but we didn't discuss what does Ram mean, right? So Ram, the word Ram itself, right? So the word Ram comes from, the root word is Ram in Sanskrit. And Ram has variations in all Indian languages again. Raman, Ramana, I don't know, people are Gujarati here. So Ramana is there, Ramen is there. So Ram, what does it mean? If you go to a Sanskrit dictionary, it means Sundar, Sukhad, Prasanta Dayak, Priya. So this is like Ram is the giver, the source of beauty, the source of happiness, the source of bliss, the source of love. That's what literally the word Ram means, by the way. So Ram becomes Ram for masculine and Rama is the feminine form of it. So Ram and Rama mean the same, that they are the source of happiness, the source of beauty, the source of bliss, the source of love. That's what the word Ram means. And hence, one way to start this journey, at least many have suggested, is this. It's called Ram Jap, and that's basically done where we also say Ram se bada Ram ka naam. In Hindi, we say that Ram se bada Ram ka naam, means the word Ram is bigger than the character Ram. And this is captured in this verse from Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam, as well as Ram Raksha. It goes as follows: Ram Rameti Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranam Tattulyam, Ram Nam Varaname. So what does this mean? Sahasranam Tattulyam. So what this is equal to 1,000 names of Vishnu. So this comes at the end where Shivji has told Parvati all the 1,000 names of Vishnu. But Parvati ji says, "Arey, this is too much. 1,000 names, what do I do?" So he says, "Okay, you can do one name." Na? And that one name equivalent to 1,000 names is the name of Ram. And what do you have to do? Ram Nam Varanane. You have to just keep saying Ram, 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 Ram. So keep repeating this Ram, Ram, Ram. That's what Ram Jap is. Nothing else. This is the simplest mantra. You can't say, "I don't know Sanskrit." You can't say, there is no excuse now after this, right? This is not a very complex mantra. It's just Ram. There is no Om Namah, nothing. It's just Ram. And Ram means the source of joy within you. So it's connecting you to your soul. And I do share another part of the theory why it works. This is because of the chakras, the Bij mantra that connects our body, entire body. So I don't know, again, if you're familiar with, there are 7 chakras and prominent chakras, and each one has a Bij mantra. So if you see Ra and Ma, so Ra is at the navel level. So spinal cord somewhere in the bottom, lower back, and Ma is at the top here, the spot which is soft. Again, this spot is sacred almost or important in all disciplines, any religion, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Hindu. This is an important place. So when you say the word Ram, you will connect your pranic system, your energy system from your abdomen to the brain. Just saying this phrase of Ram. Yeah. So this is the theory. Now we will try it and you will try and experience it. Okay, we can try. Yes. So this is the process of Pran Pratishtha of Ram in the Mandir, which is establishment of Ram in our Man. Mandir means man ke andar, inside our heart. Right? So we are establishing the source of joy in our heart, our source of happiness, our source of beauty in our heart. Right? And how will we do that? We'll just practice. Just sit comfortably, whatever way you are. If you're on a chair, let your feet be comfortably on the ground. If you want, you can let your back be supported. Gently close your eyes. And you can just start saying Ram, Ram, Ram at the pace that's convenient for you. You can say it loud. You can say it softly as well, whatever again works for you. And we'll do this for 5 minutes. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Slowly, whenever you feel complete, you can gently open your eyes and become present to the group. leave the space open if anybody wants to share anything.
I cannot stop sharing. I want to say something. This I did the first time this Ram chanting. Okay, I do the Om chanting. So it was in that also I felt like a kind of a journey, because earlier when I started was Ram, 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 like a kid who is just wanting something, right? Like I said Ram, 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 and then I'm like, it was at a different level, like Ram, Ram, like shouting, like first like asking, give me, and then screaming and shouting for it, Ram, Ram, Ram. And I just experienced from slow Ram, Ram, and it was like Ram, Ram, Ram. And then like total, like full Ram, like at the pitch. And then all of a sudden it was like Ram, Ram. And then like how I do Om chanting, Om, it turned into Ram. I don't know why. So I related that chanting with that Ram, and it was like, so it started with Ram, Ram, and then very high, like I want this something, and then why you are not fixing things. And then it just, and now when I was doing last 2 minutes, it was just like I changed that Om to Ram, and it was like all like feeling that, yeah, I'm there with you, and it's gonna be all okay. And then I don't know, I just experienced this in 5 minutes, how I started out and how I ended. And
Yes.
yeah, it was
That, at least in my experience also, that does happen. It's happened with me also.
same,
And you
similar.
extend this 5 minutes to 30 minutes, more magic happens.
Oh my God. I was like, really? And then I went to Ram Ram, like I couldn't go back there, because how I started when in that, it was like, what was I doing initially when I started with, and where I am.
Yes.
And I just wanted to one question, like Om chanting and Om also doesn't need any Sanskrit. It's just one word you are Om. Like what's the difference in the Om and Ram chanting if we have to do?
So, so both ways they are different in their own way. So both in terms of, like I said, neurologically they are different. What Om does is different slightly than what Ram does. But Ram also brings possibly that imagery, that connection with what it means. Om is a little bit more abstract, and to understand Om is another thing altogether. But yeah, so that's what I think they just mean or signify very different things. So whatever works, both are equally powerful. It's not one better than the other. Whatever works for you, whenever, whatever works.
But you said it very well. It's abstract, because Ram, I can see a form of happiness, love, as you said. But Om, when I say, I don't have any, I just say Om. I don't have, recognition of what I'm asking and what I'm feeling. It's just I'm saying Om, 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 with the thing that something will happen. But here, Ram, I was feeling that happiness, peace, because now I could relate that word with what you were saying. So yeah.
And I also feel that's the big reason why we have so many deities in India and all the, because it's easier to, if we just worship Brahman or, the whole universe or just spirit, we don't have a form. So deities give a form which we can relate to, and then it's more easier to be devoted in that bhakti. And then there's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm having goosebumps till now, from the beginning till the end experience. It's just, it was, I didn't expect it to be that great of a session. Thank you
Yeah.
so much to
I
both
was not
Sarika
expecting
and you
either.
to arrange it, and you too. Yes.
Yes, Prem, sorry.
I was not expecting either. So I was that I'm going to talk more about the story of Ramayana. And since beginning after the comparisons, it was like it's a meditative state. And then this chanting kind of opened up this area.
Wow.
And then still it opened.
Yeah. So suggestion is do this regularly. This was the idea of introducing this practice. You can do this anytime, actually, any time of the day. Doing anything while you're cooking, while you're driving, it's so easy. It eventually starts becoming very autopilot. It keeps running, and those are the stories of actually Hanumanji is Param Bhakt. That's what it is. That his stories are around that entirely. So there is a story where while he's crossing, he's taking that mountain from Himalayas to Lanka. So he's apparently crossing Ayodhya. So Bharat sees and he says, "Arey, ye kya hai? Why is this there? It's so dangerous." So he shoots at Hanumanji. He doesn't know Hanumanji, right? Who is Hanuman? He doesn't know the purpose. He says, "There is a threat. Something is going." He shoots an arrow, and because it's Bharat's arrow, so Hanumanji is affected, and he becomes unconscious and falls down. Right? Along with this, he becomes small. And then Bharat starts going to look for where is this fallen. And as he's looking for, he starts hearing the word Ram, 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 Ram. And he said, who is saying Ram, Ram? So because Bharat also is a devotee of Ram, so he starts following the sound. And there he finds Hanumanji, who is unconscious. But in his unconscious states also, he's saying Ram, Ram, Ram. That's like his constant thing. So there are many stories of him which say this. That's how this becomes. And then that's why it said Ram se bada Ram ka naam. Right? Bigger than Ram, Rameti, Rameti, Rame, Rame, Manoram. Sahastra Naam Tattulyam, Ram Naam Varanade. So there is this power. So it's great if people are experiencing it and practice. There is no shortcut. We have to go through our journey.
Yeah. I'd also like to share one thing that Sundeep shared when I first met him was Sabke Apne Ram. And that was so beautiful is like, this is your own connection with the Ram and make this your own story. And that's why when I shared this session, I was like, this is a perspective of Sundeep. And you have to find your own meaning into it and see where it takes you. 2 years back, I started writing a blog. I haven't published it yet, and it was kind of like my journey with Ram. And in that, for me, for Sita was like unconditional love. When the soul finds that unconditional love, how does it open up, and it takes you into another journey. And I love this perspective as well, finding this purpose. So yeah, and everybody, I'll encourage everybody to take it from there and make it your own and share your perspectives in the group. We'll all love to hear it and go from there.
It's so nice, Ram chanting. Like I used to hear since a year or two. I don't know what got into me. I'm using like listening that bhajan, Hey Ram, if you know. And every morning, if I'm in stress, I only play that. And I don't know, now I see why I'm playing that, but now you taught another thing. You don't have to listen. You can just say, you can chant it while you don't have to go through the YouTube link to give you that. It's all within us. So yeah, that changed big change in me. Like I don't have to look for any audio for it.
Yeah. And in my experience, again, if people are going to try, every day will be different. Like you said, the start and end, where it flowed, it's at least for me, it's been different. It can be the same, but very often it's different. And that's okay too, because it still gets you to where it gets you.
Yes.
Apne Ram.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So we'll close with some, I think, few thoughts. As I close, I had thought of, I think I'll skip that. We are close to end, but do practice. I think that's where this starts becoming real. As we practice this, we'll thank Hanumanji for his presence since he's here as we conclude. So thank you to Hanumanji and free him up. And I think since someone asked, I'll share this. This is one of the workshops that's coming up. It's called the Gita of the Ramayana. So we know Gita as Bhagavad Gita, which is in the Mahabharata. But literally Gita means Geet. It means a song. So in both Mahabharata, Ramayana, there are many parts of it which are where there is a lot of message in us, deep philosophical meaning. And one of them, out of the 1 lakh verses of Mahabharata, 700 verses is what we know as Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is speaking to Arjun just before the battleground. Similarly, in Gita of the Ramayana, this is in the Ramcharitmanas version by Goswami Tulsidas. There is a version when Ram is giving lessons to Vibhishan on dharma, on what is dharma. So I call it the Dharma Gita. But this is lessons given by Lord Ram to Vibhishan on how to lead a life of dharma, very practically, to essentially to win this battle of life. right? Win in this battle of life. So the simile is very clear. He sees if you win this, you become this dharma, you live in this way. That's what way will you win this battle of life. And the context is this only. Vibhishan is asking, there is Ravan. He is decked up. He is all the armor. He is in a great chariot, all heavily equipped. How are you going to defeat him? Out of just sheer concern. So the question is very different than what Arjun asked Krishna. Here Vibhishan is asking him, what's your plan to defeat him? And he says, I have this dharma with me. And what is that? What has he cultivated? So we take this through a workshop. This workshop runs over 5 sessions. These are online sessions, all done on a Sunday. This will be starting September 15th, Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. PST. So since all of you are in the Bay Area, so it's 7:30 p.m. India time. So 7 a.m. sorry, PST, right? If I'm getting it correct. So it will be 7 a.m. your time. And we'll go through each session, we'll go through one such message, a small message, a message on how to build, cultivate dharma in our life. That's how this will be, again with practice. We always end with practice. Theory is good. There has to be a practical tool. So just like this Ram Jap is a practical tool, every session there will be some practical tool that you can try for a week. And then we meet the next week, the group discusses, shares, we learn from each other, and then we take on a new message. That's how the session runs. All our workshops run this way, that there is some theory and there is a practice that we have to try, and we learn from that practice from each other. That's how we run this sessions. So this is workshop. All details, I'll share the link. It's on our website, swasth.org/workshops. Many other workshops are there, but this is the one coming up on this topic. And I just want to remind, and I'll share this link also, the QR code. This is the work, the other work we do, which is the clinics, where we serve the low income without any fee for their health services. It takes $25 for supporting 5 families. And thanks, Sarika, for sharing that. And the QR code is here. I'll share this PPT. So both the QR codes is there. One is to donate and the other is to join this WhatsApp group where we keep sharing updates on what workshops are coming up, some lessons. So Garima, and this is very tightly controlled. There's no spam on it. We control it very clearly. But the right one also that you will basically be a part of, where we'll share those details. Good. So we are on time and we'll close. We'll also close with a short prayer, and then I'm still around if there is more to discuss. This one is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Again, we don't know if people know this, but this means we end with this wish jointly as we come together. May all be happy. May all be free from illness. May all see what is auspicious, and may no one suffer. So we'll do it in the same way. So we'll request everyone to sit comfortably. We'll do it as lead and follow. So I'll say one line and you can repeat after me. Just bring your attention to your breath. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. This was beautiful. And I know it's pretty late at your end in the night. So really, really thankful for you to participate at this time. And yeah, I've shared the link. I'll also share it in the WhatsApp. I highly encourage to contribute to Sundeep's mission and the amount of work that they've been doing. You can check it out on their website. But I also connected with Garima, another team member, and the intention behind this mission is really, really pure. So I really love like if we can all contribute to that. So wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarika. Thank you, Sundeep, and everyone. Thank you.
Everyone, thanks.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Have a great weekend. Bye.